And now, without further ado, I will start with the speaker introductions. I want to say that we want to avoid solecism throughout this meeting, and that's why we're all here tonight. We want to perfectly use the English language. Our first speaker, Ruth Reitzel, will demonstrate that. Changing careers has been difficult, especially in the middle of a pandemic where everyone is stay at home and working remotely. Ruth was up for the challenge though. How do you manage a team? How do you manage change and lead a team that you never have even met? Tonight, Ruth is incorporating the evaluation and feedback she got from her last speech to present to you her experience leading a team I've never met. Join me in welcoming Ruth Reitzel.
So imagine this. You're on a team, you have at your work. You get things done, things function, you do fairly well. A new manager comes in. It's not just any kind of manager. This person wants to change everything right now, do it how I want to do it. How does that make your team feel? Does it boost morale? Does it create resentment for this new manager? Do you respect them for what they're wanting to do? Usually, no. Most of the time, that's very much the opposite effect. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As many of you know, I recently changed jobs. I did this in the middle of a pandemic. It has been very interesting. I transitioned to a position working for NASA as a project manager, and today is actually 1 month into my job. It's only been a month, and it seems like it's been forever. I manage a team of about 20 people and manage their projects examining the risk associated with for astronaut health associated with long-term space flight. It's very ever-changing. Priorities change, projects change, and it's a challenge to keep up. But like I said, I'm up for the challenge. Last week, 3 weeks into my position, my task order manager, so if you're from the PM world, that's kind of like the project management office, told me that he wants me, who's only been there for 3 weeks, to overhaul our entire project management processes. Basically change everything. Wow, that's gonna be an interesting time to do that. I've only been there, like I said, for 3 weeks. And add to that, because of COVID, everybody's at home. I have never actually met anybody but 2 people in my team in person. And I've only met them once. So I'm a new person, I'm coming in, I've never met anybody. How do I lead them? That being said, this wasn't entirely unexpected. He did kind of hint at the fact that there were some problems in the interview, but I didn't expect the change to be this quickly. A moment of panic set over me. I was thinking, what did I get myself into? How am I going to do this? I've never met these people. They're going to hate me. I'm going to step on people's toes and I'm going to make people mad 3 weeks into the job. Okay, so I calmed down. What am I going to do? How am I going to lead a team that I never met? So I thought about it. Demanding change never works. You usually end up with a team that doesn't respect you, doesn't trust you, and really doesn't want to work with you. So I'm not that person. I don't want to be that person. I've had that person. They're the worst. So I knew from day one that I was going to have to build a solid foundation with my team. With my client, with people I worked with. So what did I do? I knew I had to do 3 things. I had to build rapport, I truly had to listen, and I had to get buy-in from my team. Again, we're working at home, never met anybody. How do you build rapport with somebody you've never met? Well, I scheduled Teams calls. Just every single person on my team, I scheduled a Teams call with them, 30 minutes, get to know me. Let's see what you're doing. And I asked them these 3 questions. What are you working on? Are you having any difficulties in your job? And how can I remove the obstacles so that you can get your job done? I listened to what everybody had to say. And that's, I'm in these meetings, mostly they talked and I listened. I listened a lot. Some had a lot to say, some didn't have as much to say, but I listened and I asked questions. That was, for someone who has not been doing a lot of Teams calls, that was difficult for me. That was an entire week of listening to people on the phone. But we got through it, and I actually learned some very interesting things. I got to know some people. It actually turned out that I'd actually met a couple of them before in school years ago. So I have met a couple of them. But get back to it. I listened to their questions. I listened to what they had to say. And there were some common things that were identified throughout what everybody said. Most of them had to do with resource allocation, what people were overloaded, some people were looking for things to do, and how projects were managed. There was pretty much no communication as to what schedules were. That's a problem in project management. Schedules are a big thing. So let's just say from after what I was listening to, it didn't shock me that I was asked to overhaul some processes. So where do I go from here? We continue to have check-in meetings as needed, and I really tried to make a point with my team to please come to me if there's any ongoing obstacles. I need to know these things so we can work on how to fix them. The team functions, so there's really no need for sweeping changes dramatically right now, but it's going to need some changes. I have some ideas about what I want to do, but what I want to do may not be what the best thing is. So I need to get some buy-in. I'm working with several of the team members to understand really what the gaps are and where the processes are breaking down. At the same time, I also want to get some input from them as to what we can do to fix them. It's a work in progress. Overall, my aim is to have a collaborative goal so that when these changes are implemented, it will be smoother. We'll be able to move forward and manage the change without as much resistance. Hopefully, leveling resources and making things easier for everybody. And hopefully, one of these days, I'll actually get to meet my team. Thank you.